It gives me such a great pleasure to be here today to take part in what is now becoming a growing tradition, our annual Capital Market Summit. It's remarkable how far we have come in such a short time. Just a year ago, we spoke of establishing the foundations of Ethiopian capital markets. Today, we start not as beginners, but as active participants in a rapidly evolving financial landscape. As you all know, access to capital is one of the most powerful engines of economic growth and private sector expansion. When businesses, large and small, are able to secure long-term, affordable financing, they can innovate, scale, and create the jobs that drive national prosperity. For many years, financing in our economy has been primarily bank-based, but today we are entering a new era in which capital markets play a central and complementary role. With the launch and operationalization of the capital market, we now have an entirely new platform through which capital can be mobilized, efficiently allocated to its most productive uses. This marks a profound shift in how investment flows across our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, the rise of Ethiopia's capital markets at this moment in our economic journey is not accidental. It's deeply aligned with our national aspiration to build prosperity through market-based growth. As we gather here today, Ethiopia is implementing far-reaching macroeconomic reforms that are modernizing our financial landscape, restoring stability, and strengthening the foundations for long-term private sector-driven development. Under the homegrown reform agenda, we have taken significant steps to enhance fiscal resilience, modernize our monetary policy framework, improve debt management, and reform foreign exchange regime. These reforms are shaping a more predictable, transparent, and attractive economic environment, one in which investment can flourish and enterprises can thrive. What makes this moment particularly powerful is that capital markets magnify the benefit of these reforms. At a time when our economy is undergoing structural transformation, capital markets are emerging as a central engine, mobilizing capital, improving liquidity, and channeling investment to sectors that drive growth and jobs. This alignment between macroeconomic reform and capital market development is generating a set of powerful synergies. Allow me to highlight at least 4 of these synergies. First, the government now has access to transparent market-based financing through the expansion of primary market issuance on CSD to retail investors to broaden the base for capital mobilization, and secondary market for further expansion of the capital mobilization through trading of government securities on the Ethiopian Securities Exchange. This listing is on ESX is a historic advancement. It created an open, competitive, and market-driven platform for government financing. Second, our banks themselves stand to be major beneficiaries of the reforms unfolding both at the macro level and within the capital market ecosystem. As you are aware, the National Bank has transitioned to a price-based monetary policy framework where the policy rate now plays a central role in guiding liquidity conditions within the banking system. Under this framework, commercial banks must manage their liquidity positions more actively, adjusting to market signals and responding to short-term funding needs with greater agility. Third, our modernized foreign exchange regime and clearer investment frameworks are creating space for foreign portfolio investments in our market. This brings in not only capital, but also global expertise, deepening liquidity and strengthening Ethiopia's integration into the regional and global economy. Finally, The capital market reinforces our shift towards a diversified financial system where banks, institutional investors, and capital market intermediaries all play complementary roles. This diversification broadens access to capital and fuels private sector expansion, an essential ingredient for job creation and inclusive growth. Ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, capital markets play a transformative role across every segment of our economy, and it's worth highlighting how significantly they contribute to national prosperity. Today, capital markets are emerging not simply as financial platforms, but as powerful economic catalysts that drive growth, innovation, and inclusion. Maybe you're asking, what is in it for me then? So let me be specific, bear with me. For companies, capital markets are becoming a vital source of long-term financing and patient capital through several financing instruments such as equity, corporate bonds, and others, which enable firms to expand, innovate, and compete more efficiently. For entrepreneurs and private sector actors, the emergence of the Ethiopian Securities Exchange opens new pathways to raise gross capital, attract investors, and participate in dynamic sectors of the new economy. For foreign investors, our recent reforms, change in the foreign exchange regime included, create a transparent and modern platform to deploy capital into Ethiopian enterprises. It brings not only liquidity, but also expertise, technology, and global best practices, and maintains a stable balance of payments in our economy. I'm sure you're looking at headlines as of recent, when investment deals are signed in hundreds of millions, in billions, which tells you Ethiopia is really becoming a major investment destination. And for individuals and households, capital markets offer a broader and more attractive set of savings and investment options, allowing citizens to match their investment with their risk appetite, liquidity needs, and long-term goals. This enhances financial inclusion and gives Ethiopians everywhere a direct stake in the nation's growth. My team at NB would be very unhappy if I don't mention here Saga Capital, an investment portal aimed at democratizing access to the capital market by enabling individual retail investors to purchase treasury bills directly from the government. Over the last 4 auctions, government was able to secure over 125 billion from institutional and retail investors. But overall, through this platform, we're able to trade over 1 trillion birr as of recent, which shows you this system is changing and growing dynamically. Ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, let me close by emphasizing that while we have laid a strong and credible foundation, the journey toward building a deep, liquid, and truly active capital market has only just begun. The achievements we celebrate today reflect the collective vision, commitment, and technical effort of many institutions. But sustaining this momentum and unlocking the full promise of capital markets will require continued dedication from all stakeholders in the months and years ahead. Ensuring depth and liquidity also means expanding the range of financial instruments offered on our market, from government securities to corporate bonds, equities, asset-backed instruments, and new products that respond to the needs of a modern economy. It also means strengthening the ecosystem of intermediaries, brokers, dealers, investment advisors, fund managers, custodians, so that capital can flow seamlessly to productive sectors. It It means nurturing a culture of investment across households and institutions so that market becomes not just an infrastructure, but a living engine of opportunity for all Ethiopians. Let me repeat that. Markets should not just be an infrastructure, but a living engine of opportunity for all Ethiopians. Above all, building an active capital market requires partnerships. Not any single institution can deliver this vision alone. No. The National Bank of Ethiopia, the Ethiopian Capital Markets Authority, the Ethiopian Securities Exchange, Ministry of Finance, financial institutions, private sector actors, development partners, and policymakers must continue to work hand in hand to realize this vision. Our alignment around a shared objective to unlock capital, spur innovation, and accelerate economic transformation is what will define Ethiopia's success in the new chapter. The foundations are strong, ladies and gentlemen. The direction is clear, and the potential is immense. If we remain committed, coordinated, and ambitious, Ethiopia's capital markets will not only support our economic reforms, but they will become a central pillar of a more prosperous, inclusive, modern, and resilient economy. I'm hopeful that this summit will be the opportunity for discussion to shape the future of Ethiopian capital market and find ways for stronger collaboration so that we can all see the capital markets ecosystem in Ethiopia achieve its maximum potential. I wish you all a successful summit. Thank you so much.